Imagine a brilliant tech founder walking through her own high-tech R&D lab. She's preparing to launch a product that's been years in the making. She appears to have the definitive recipe for success. Her company is backed by massive capital, she's hired the industry's top engineering talent, and the market conditions for her specific product are fantastic. Samuel Pierpont Langley had those exact same advantages in the early 20th century. He was funded by the War Department and well connected to the greatest scientific minds of his day. He had the money and the talent to be the first to achieve powered flight, yet he never did. Back in the present, our founder steps onto a stage to deliver her pitch to a room full of investors. She starts with the what, clearly defining the specific features of the new device she's built. She then transitions to the how, explaining the product's superior technical specifications, its sleek design, and its user-friendly interface. She concludes the pitch by asking the audience to invest or buy, but despite the quality of the presentation, the audience is indifferent. This logic-heavy approach is why TiVo struggled. Even though they had the highest quality technology on the market, a product that could pause and rewind live TV, their IPO stalled and their stock price struggled to stay above $6. When a company has the capital, the talent, and a flawless product, but still fails to connect with an audience, the standard logical approach to selling is missing something that cannot be found in a technical manual. Most businesses communicate from the outside in. They start with the clearest facts, the features, and eventually get to the fuzziest part, the purpose behind it all. This is the golden circle. It codifies how the most inspiring organizations communicate. At the center is the why. This isn't about making a profit. The why is the core purpose that justifies why the organization exists. If we rewind to the founder's pitch, she tries a different path. This time, she communicates from the inside out. She starts her presentation by stating her belief in challenging the status quo. She then explains that she challenges that status quo by making products that are beautifully designed and simple to use. Only then does she mention that she happens to make a great computer. By reversing the order of the information, the pitch is no longer just a list of features. She has replaced a technical description with a statement of intent that the audience can choose to join. This shift in how we receive a message is not a matter of psychology. It is grounded in the actual tenets of human biology. If you look at a cross-section of the human brain, the outer layer, the neocortex, corresponds with the what level. This part of the brain is responsible for rational, analytical thought and language. While the neocortex can understand vast amounts of facts, figures, and benefits, it does not have the capacity to drive human behavior. The middle sections of the brain make up the limbic system, mapping to the why and how. This part controls feelings like trust and drives all decision-making, yet has no capacity for language. When you communicate from the inside out, you are talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior. This is why we make gut decisions that often ignore the facts on the page. Because beliefs drive decisions, people adopt new ideas at different speeds, known as the law of diffusion of innovation. Traditional pitches capture the first 10% who logically need the product, but achieving mass market success requires crossing a massive gap to reach the early majority. Crossing the gap requires early adopters. They stand in line for hours to buy a new phone, to prove what they believe to the world. To reach a tipping point, a leader cannot simply sell to everyone who needs their product. They must focus on the people who believe what they believe. We see the result of this shift in our founder's business. By starting with why, she has built an ecosystem of supporters who are personally invested in her success. This framework is more than a sales tactic. It is a foundational philosophy for hiring and company culture. If you hire people just because they can do a job, they will work for your money. But if you hire people who share your beliefs, they will work with you with blood, sweat, and tears. This is why the Wright brothers succeeded where Langley failed. Their team didn't have the funding or the education of their competitors, but they were driven by a shared belief that their invention would change the course of history. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. proved this at the highest scale. 250,000 people showed up in Washington not because he had a 12-point plan, but because his "I have a dream" speech spoke to a belief they already held about themselves. People don't buy what you do, They buy why you do it. The goal of any great leader is to build a world around those who share that belief.